Usually this is one of the actually slower weeks, the slowest week of the football season when the conference championships are decided. You have a big Monday show, and then you have 4 days. You don't want to talk too much NFL because of the Super Bowl, and that's what you'll be sort of devoured. Everybody will be devoured by that next week. So we look forward to the kind of a guest list we don't normally have. We don't use as many guests throughout the course of the year like next week. And we'll make sure we bring in the right ones. But this week has moved along because of all the coaching hires, some high-profile ones. And so with that, we move into one of my favorite segments every week. It's called Tomorrow's Headlines Today. Mike McCarthy and the Steelers. J-Mac, what's the headline?
All right, now it's difficult to do some of these outlooks because free agency, the draft, coaching staffs aren't even fully filled. But we have an idea of where teams are headed. So for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike McCarthy, the headline next season will be, it's McCarthy. We can lose if we want to, lose if we want to. I don't see it, Colin. I don't. I'm tracking here, second oldest roster in the NFL.
It is.
That's not great. I'm counting a guard as a free agent, maybe their best guard. Gainwell, their backup running back who's good. An aging defense. Colin, there just isn't a lot of blue chip talent on this Pittsburgh Steelers roster. Now, if McCarthy can find a quarterback, great. We know he's an offensive mind. But everything I look at, up and down, offense, defense, special teams, they're not as good as the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they're going to be as good as the Baltimore Ravens. And remember, if the Ravens kicker makes that field goal at the end, a 44-yarder, and the Ravens go to the playoffs and the Steelers miss, is it total panic in Pittsburgh? We'll see if Will Howard is the guy. I've heard pretty good reviews on him. I think the smart move, and I know fans don't want to hear it, is you ride out Will Howard. Maybe you win 5 games and you get a high draft pick and you get a quarterback and you start the cycle again.
Interesting. Tomorrow's headlines today. I think I know where you lean on this. First-year coach Joe Brady and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, listen, Josh Allen, I believe, is the most talented quarterback in the league right now. He's great. So they're going to be in the mix. But I did say the Super Bowl window is closing. And Colin, the headline for the Buffalo Bills and Joe Brady will be, say it ain't Joe? Bills barely clear playoff window. As you see Josh diving out as the window shrinks. I think they'll make the playoffs only because the division is rotten. I mean, my Jets are a dumpster fire. They continue to be just horrific. The Miami Dolphins, I don't think they've had a good offseason so far with the coaching hire, the GM. So Buffalo, by default, is going to fall backwards and win 10 games, assuming Josh Allen's upright. But, Colin, you want to talk problems. 8 starters are free agents, 8. And several of them are on defense where they were pretty lowly rated against the run, against the pass. I don't know that the talent is there. We'll see what happens. As you noted, Josh Allen's cap hit, 6th biggest among quarterbacks next season. And maybe they can retool. Bosa comes back on the cheap. But 2 starting linebackers, free agents. Milano, who's starting to age because of all the injuries. Shaq Thompson.
Yep.
Cornerback, Tre'Davious White, is he going to come back? Again, if Josh Allen's healthy, they're fine. If Josh Allen has to miss a couple weeks, this is honestly a bottom 5 team in the league. Give me 10 wins for the Bills.
You make good points. Tomorrow's headlines today. Raiders, new head coach. I like the quarterback they're going to draft.
Well, we think they're going Mendoza. I can't envision an alternative scenario, but it is interesting that they haven't hired anybody and Seattle is still playing. The headline for the Vegas Raiders will be Rubik's Kubiak. Raiders still stuck on playoff puzzle. I do believe, like you, Kubiak will be the next head coach of the Raiders. It's an attractive job. You're right. Mendoza, he's got a lot of promise. You do have the left tackle in Colton Miller, elite tight end in Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, who we like a lot. The problem, Colin, is after that, there's not a lot of talent. Now, this may surprise you. The Raiders have the 3rd most salary cap room heading into this offseason, right? So they can retool on the offensive line. Have you seen their wide receiver room, Colin? It might be the worst group in the NFL. It's not good at all. They traded Jacoby Myers, which turned out to be a disaster. The defense, it's weird. They graded out pretty good, league average. But if you look individually at the player grades, they're not great. Some of that could be that the offense was so bad, Geno Smith with the turnovers, that the opposing teams weren't trying to score much. They were just handing off because it was a formality. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of work to do here for Kubiak. This is still a 5-6 win team. But you and I are both bullish on Mendoza. I see a young, early stage Tom Brady, just a smart quarterback, cerebral, puts the ball where it belongs. So I do think the future's bright, but next season, it's going to be a tough go.
Yeah. Our final NFL topic, tomorrow's headlines today, the Arizona Cardinals, I felt a couple years ago they were so promising, and it feels like it's just bottomed out.
Yeah, I don't know what the quarterback situation is there with Kyler Murray. Hell, what are they doing at head coach? The headline for the Arizona Cardinals will be one LaFleur over the Cardinals' nest. Cardinals stay cuckoo. I think it's going to be Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator. He had a run with the Jets that was not really memorable, but then again, he had Zach Wilson at quarterback. Obviously, the brother of LaFleur, the Packers. He's been with the Niners as well. So I think there's some promise here. Here's where it gets interesting, Colin. I believe they move off Kyler Murray, and the name to watch here is Malik Willis. So he was with LaFleur's brother in Green Bay. He showed well as a backup. I think it's a seamless move. And honestly, here's the scary part. That division's loaded. The Cardinals skill position guys, James Conner is a top 10 back in the league. Trey McBride is an elite tight end.
Fitzgerald, Wilson.
Well, not Fitzgerald, but Harrison Jr. Harrison Jr. And also Michael Wilson, who had 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Good player.
Dude, I'm just telling you, you get a quarterback in there, they've got the engine ready, and Arizona can hang. They showed that they could hang with the NFC West this season. Defense is another story, but I do think LaFleur would be a step in the right direction for Arizona.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that. The Harbaughs and the LaFleurs. Well, there's been a big headline. The Greek Freak is the nickname. Tomorrow's headlines today. Giannis moving. Knicks Heat feel right to me. Some speculate the Warriors. What say you?
So the trade deadline is next Thursday, but unfortunately, Giannis is on the shelf 4 to 6 with another calf injury we'll get to shortly. So you and I were in Arizona for the Super Bowl. I'll never forget being in an Uber when I got the news that Kevin Durant was moved. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that. It was seismic stuff. Will we see that next Thursday? The headline for Giannis will be forget about it. Greek oak planted in the garden. Yes, I do believe the Knicks and impetuous James Dolan make an irrational move and they go after Giannis. Colin, I'm a little nervous because they're, I think, 2 in the East right now. You get Giannis, he's out 4 to 6. You're going to fall in the standings. Now, the only way the Knicks get him, it's not going to just be for Karl-Anthony Towns. No. They're going to have to move off OG Anunoby. Yes. And there is a huge divide among Knicks fans. Yeah. Well, shucks, is Brunson, Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Giannis, is that enough? Is there enough shooting? Because Hart's not a great shooter. It is enough in the East, and here's why I think it makes sense. Because I think they're going to have, I think you're right, is that you have got Brunson is a liability defensively, but he's so good offensively and so smart and such a good leader. He is the best quarterback New York has had since Eli Manning. He is a great, I want him to be my guy. For his size, he's a remarkable closer, tough, gritty. I like everything about him. Classic Villanova guy with great skill. Kind of a liability on the defensive end. You can work him, and that's okay. A lot of great offensive players. Luke is another one. Harden's another one. I don't want him, you can pick on him. You gotta be able to defend the rim. You need length and athleticism. Karl-Anthony Towns, similarly, is a below-average defender. And so just that move alone is, and again, I think there's a lot of Josh Hart. Brunson and Giannis give you 2 elite players. Oh, yeah. In the East, that can win the East in a year Jason Tatum is out. And by the way, if you did it and just got to this finals, in New York, that plays pretty well. You'd be good with Giannis, but this may be your opening. Tatum's out. Boston's still good. Halliburton will come back. Orlando is still young. Mm-hmm. This may, we talk about this all the time. You can see aggressive teams seize the window. Yeah. The outside of Detroit, this is the moment for New York. So I think the Knicks feels like the move. Yeah. So even if they don't do OG to the Bucks, they may have to move OG to a different team. Right. Get more picks because he's going to be in high demand, 3-and-D wing. And then you put the picks in Towns and send them to the Bucks. Colin, I just don't know. Mitchell Robinson, right? He's an amazing offensive rebounder. Can you play Mitchell Robinson, Giannis and Josh Hart, 3 non-shooters at the same time. You'll be great defensively, but I just don't know if the offense is going to be there, man.
Here's the thing that's really, to me, that's really interesting. And we've noticed this with this draft and next year's draft. They're unbelievable, like stars everywhere. We went about 20 years where you were lucky if you got 3 really, really good guys in the draft. I mean, this past draft, it looks like the top 5 guys are all dudes. Like now, they're all good now, and they're all kids. And last year's draft was pretty good. My take is draft picks going forward mean more. There was a 20-year period where you were getting, you were getting a lot of guys
Anthony
that were
Bennett.
one and done guys who played in a very diluted, weak college basketball sport. Now, because of NIL, college basketball's got all sorts of good Euros. So if you're Cooper Flagg, you're playing against Euros, you're playing against better players, so it's a better training ground. So I value draft picks going forward. So if the Bucks could get 4 draft picks, those are 4 potentially nice starters.
Yeah, let me ask you, though, this Giannis calf injury, this is the 3rd calf injury he's had in
brutal.
2 years, Colin. And you know what those lead to historically. He is 31. A lot of tread on those tires. A lot of playoff trips, although they haven't had success recently. It would be devastating if they traded for Giannis, forced him back, and you know what happened.
Well, that's why I've said, J-Mac, I don't think Giannis equals titles. I could argue if you trade for him, this is the year. Because Tatum and Halliburton, this is the year that guarantees a trip to the finals. Once Tatum comes back, that team is better than the Knicks.
But don't you think the Knicks can get to the finals without Giannis this year? I mean, they're number 2 in the East. They went through a little malaise recently. They're stacked, man. They got a great team. Karl Anthony Towns is not playing like a guy who's thrilled to be in New York given the Giannis chatter right now.
Wish they would have kept Tibbs. Nothing against Mike Brown.
Please, give me a break.